Much like the daily airfield inspection, the wildlife observations is composed of a moving map, a dashboard that shows on-the-fly widgets of the status of observations, and a form that allows you to quickly collect information about wildlife observations across the airport. Using this form, I could then select the area where I discovered the wildlife, either by clicking on the map or simply using my GPS on my phone, and then enter in the drop-down information for the current conditions, including the temperature and the wind. The weather is required so that if you do not select it, it throws an error. The location of the observation and the species code that biologists can then select from a drop-down, and the activity that they observed during the time that that individual species was observed. In this case, there were 2 black-footed albatross birds that were spotted on the airfield. You could take a picture of those species or select them from a list of ones that you already have, and then that's submitted into the observation form, which is recorded in a database. Now, the beauty of this is that that observation now feeds the dashboard on the right. You could select and update more observations, or then see the summary of those wildlife observations as they exist in the dashboard. I've got running totals on the bottom on these individual charts. Then I could zoom to any individual observation and notice hot spots or the density of those observations. As I zoom in, you'll also notice the wildlife grid that is populated and pushed into that observation automatically, thereby making this effort much easier. So let's conduct one more observation, and it's going to be at this date and time. In this case, it's a bird strike, so what I can do is through the form connect directly to the FAA's bird strike database and then update that automatically. You can see that the information I just populate into the form, and then the issue in this case was that an aircraft during the approach to land actually struck a bird in flight. You can see that it hit the wing and it was struck and was also damaged. So I'll submit all this to the FAA through their strike database, and it's fed directly into the wildlife form. Where was that observation or well that wildlife strike occur? So I'd click in the area where that aircraft struck the bird, and then again note the weather, both the temperature and the wind direction and the condition of the clouds. Once I've selected all this information, it's easy enough then to be able to just submit that form directly, and it feeds the database, not just for reporting purposes and for auditing, but for the FAA for their wildlife strikes. This information, again, is recorded in a database that is stored locally and then can be shared with other agencies, including the FAA.